Okay, well, I just want to say thanks again to everybody at State. I know it was a tough day yesterday with the weather and the delays, and softball players are used to that, and usually softball crews are too, so I don't think it was that big of a deal. Hopefully it wasn't for you guys either. But I love the championship atmosphere too. They got a great place, great stadium. Obviously you guys covered it well, so I appreciate you guys. And you know, it's the best 12-team tournament in the country. There's no doubt. And you know, in championship, postseason softball, you have to have three things to win the game: starting pitching, defense, and hitting. And you know, maybe we had a little hitting, maybe a little defense, but that was it. And you're not going to beat a good team like Auburn, you know, without getting all three. You got to have all three. You either got to get the timely hit, make a great defensive play, or get a really good start. So hats off to them, and we're looking forward to Sunday night, though.
Okay, questions for the ladies?
So Maddie, the last two times you've gotten the ball, once was a full count with Hugo, and then it's Casey Cooper with people on base. And talk about entering in those situations and about your role seeming to expand here lately and how you felt out there.
Yeah, I love it. I love going in. Any chance I get, I just want to be out there. And, you know, just my main focus was going right at people. And I knew who I was up. But, yeah, just go right at her. And that's just what was in my mind the whole time.
Andrea, what was it like having to wait a night, you know, another night's sleep, coming out here to play Auburn yesterday, then having to wait? What was it like?
Well, actually, the wait it actually did us good. We were actually really loose in the batting cages where it was pretty chill, and, you know, went home and got a good night's rest and came back ready to go.
Andrea, are you a little tired of having to battle from behind? I think it's 3 games in a row that you guys have fallen significantly behind early, and what do you have to do when that happens, and how tough is that?
Actually, I think it fires us up even more just because, you know, we have something to fight for. You know, when we're ahead, you know, we're kind of at ease, but fighting from behind us, you just get so much more fire under your butt.
In the back.
You had the game against Georgia last week where you came back from a big deficit. And I guess I'll ask Andrea, did that inspire, I mean, you guys, this could have gotten out of hand. You came back and you fought your way back into this one. Do you think that game played a role in your confidence with this one?
Oh, 100%. Being down 6 runs, we know we're not out of any game. So, you know, 4 runs, that's okay. You know, our pitching has been great, and our hitting, timely hitting. So we knew we weren't out of it.
Get back to Maddie. A year ago, you were pitching at Sokol Park this weekend. Can you just talk about your journey from there to here and getting the ball more late in the season and what that feels like?
Yeah, it's been a big journey. Like you said, a year ago, I was senior in high school, obviously. Just the transformation I think I've made from then just to now is a big change, and I'm just excited to, you know, keep evolving and, you know, seeing what this whole entire team can do, not just me. But yeah, it's a big change. It's cool.
The key part of that is that she didn't check out when she wasn't playing. And most kids would check out, you know, in a team sport. If they're not getting the ball, if they're not batting, they're not playing, they're going to say, I'm never going to play. She hasn't done that for 1 minute. And you can tell, obviously, if we can put her in against Auburn, and of course she gets to start with Cooper and not give up a run, she hasn't checked out. So that's a great lesson for an athlete where you're on a team sport. It's about the team, not about you. And I think Maddie's been like that since day one. And now everybody on the team has complete confidence in her when she goes in.
Thanks, Murph.
Any more questions for the ladies? Okay, thank you. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
That was easy, Hawk. You can go.
Yeah.
You can go. Yes. They're like,
All right. See you later.
Follow up on what I asked about Andrea. I think it's 3 games in a row. You guys, the first inning in particular was bad for the starting pitching and maybe the defense too. Are you worried a little that that's becoming a trend, or is it just a bump?
no, I think it's just a bump and just a, you know, I think Sydney walked the 8th spot. That was really the mistake, or a big mistake, I thought. Because, they have good hitters up and down the lineup, and when you get a tiny break, you kind of need to take advantage of it. And she didn't take advantage of it. And then we didn't make a couple plays. So Wallace squared it up good. And but we got to make plays behind her.
Auburn has had the one thing this year of having 5 deep, and any of them can start at any time. Is it hard to prepare for a team like that when you legitimately don't know which 5 they're going to throw at you?
Oh, yeah. It's like against State, and they had 6, I think. And so whenever they bring somebody in, if you knock the starter out, that's the challenge. Make the adjustment as soon as possible, and we probably didn't against Martin, which she had a nice drop ball, change up, and you could tell the first 2 kids that she faced, we rolled over, one to the short and one to the pitcher. So as soon as anybody that makes a change, the quicker you make the adjustment, now they have to think about, okay, do I need to bring in somebody else? And she did a good job, but we let her off the hook a little bit. That is the challenge.
The back.
Coach, you sort of addressed this, but obviously a long game. You had Wednesday night. You have the craziness that happened with the weather yesterday. Do you feel like in the first inning, maybe a sluggish start to the first inning, did that have any effect on it?
No, I don't think so. She probably should have gave us a little more bump because Sydney had another day off. So we need to get her straightened out, and get through a first inning without giving up a run. And, Madi did a great job because you can't play yo-yo softball. They score, we score, they score, we score. When you're down 4 in the first inning, somebody has to come in and shut them down so the offense can come back. And Madi did that. We just didn't get, we get 2 more hits, and it's a different game. If Leona's ball goes out, then it's a totally different game. So now down the stretch, it's a game of inches. Every game is going to be like this, whether it's, a little bit that way, a little bit this way, foul ball, miss hits, the difference between the national champion and the runner-up is about this much.
Do you think you have enough to get a top 8 seed on Sunday?
I think so. And, I think the 11 teams that have a winning record, they're in. And congrats to Ole Miss. It's the first time in 20 years that they get to go to the in-state tournament, and I'm really happy for Mike and them. I think they're going to have a great night on Sunday night because I remember our first time 18 years ago, and, this is going to be the 18th straight year for us. And I just told him, I said, one of the things, I remember Tommy's article, it was late July. We announced the schedule, the earliest we ever had, and the headline was like, not backing down, something like that. And we can schedule as hard as we want, but they need to do the work and beat some of those teams, and they've done that. Our RPI was number 3, and at least first, it's a lock for hosting, but I would hope that we're a top 8.
Coach, gymnastics, Auburn and Alabama in the series of that, gymnastics has their event in Birmingham, baseball does Capital City, but especially for softball in a year like this when you're not in the rotation, do you think that there should be a non-conference neutral site type situation? Yeah, and I wish there was a Montgomery Biscuit Stadium for softball, because that would be fun, They just have a good advantage over us because they have that facility. If we could turn Hoover, the new Regions Park, into a softball stadium, that would be a lot of fun because we'd set a lot of records for attendance.
Just to follow on Madi, looking at the postseason, the last 2 times you've given her the ball in pretty tough situations, do you look at her going into the NCAA as more than you did 3 weeks ago as a viable option? Well, and I was kicking myself because I had thought about bringing her in against the lefty at the bottom of the order, and I should have. But I think and Haley gave her a huge compliment after the game where, it's really fun to play behind her. And like I said the other day, there's been teams where we don't play as well behind a specific pitcher, and this year it hasn't been that way. And Madi just gave a shot of confidence to everybody on the team, just by doing what she did today. So it's definitely in the back of my mind that, and that goes for Kerrigan Fain, who came in, got a walk and a hit. Caroline Hardy, again, gets a shot up the middle. So those 3 kids have played their way into more playing time. And I'm really proud of them because they have been sitting on the bench for a long time. So they have not checked out. They've been fully invested in the team. One more thing, update on Demi. I've had some people asking.
Yeah, she's very close. She swung against me in practice, like all-out swing, not just slap, not just a bunt, but she swung, so she looked pretty good. If there had been an opportunity in the 7th, I was going to use her. So she's real close. Defensively, not as close, but offensively, I think you could see her next weekend.